Hello everyone, today we are going to explain what a core switch is. Actually, when we set up our switching network, it is divided into 3 layers. What are these 3 layers? They are the access layer, the aggregation layer, and the core layer. Let's go through them layer by layer. First, if it's the access layer of a large campus network, they will deploy some access switches. These 4 devices here belong to access switches. So what do I mean by access switches? Basically, they connect some of our terminal devices to the network. So what are terminal devices in this context? For example, our computers, printers, servers, and cameras are all terminal devices. To connect them to our network, we need access switches. For access switches, we generally use layer 2 switches for simple access or to configure some VLANs. If there are too many access switches, I will find a way to aggregate them together. Access switches are not directly connected to another switch. Instead, they are often connected to an aggregation switch, meaning the aggregation switch consolidates them together. Once consolidated, if there are too many aggregations, it becomes difficult to manage, so they are all connected to our core switch. Therefore, it essentially acts as a central hub managing many switches, including access switches and aggregation switches beneath it. However, when we usually look at it, if it's a large campus network, the switches used are actually different from the ones we typically see in enterprises. For example, the switches we commonly see in enterprises often look like this. They resemble a box, and we generally call them box-type switches. When we connect them, we usually use the network port or electrical port on the side with the blue label to connect the network cable. One end of the network cable connects to this switch, and the other end connects to our terminal device. We use the yellow interface here, the optical port, to connect to the upper switch and other network devices. This is the box-type switch. This is often seen in enterprises. In projects within large campus networks, it is generally used as our access switch or some aggregation switches. However, if it's a large campus network and we need it as the core, we will use the switch over here. This switch is called a chassis switch, and it is very tall and large. Inside it, there are actually many interfaces. At first glance, you might think, hey, aren't these all boards? But if you look at each board, it actually has screws. By unscrewing them, we can insert more cards for additional connections. Often the core equipment used in large campus networks is this type of chassis device. It performs better and can connect more devices. The entire enterprise, including our future campus network setup, actually follows this 3-layer architecture. First, the access switch connects all the devices, the terminal devices, to the network. The aggregation layer then makes a connection and finally connects to our core, allowing for future connections to more network devices, such as routers and firewalls. This is something everyone needs to understand in this process. If in the future you want to learn more about Huawei network-related certification technologies, or if you want to know about the Huawei certification question bank, you can send me a private message or leave a comment below the video for technical exchanges. That's it for today. Bye-bye.